Preparing for exams. No, I'm not talking about school exams. I'm talking your claim and pension exam. This time it's headache edition. Now, before I get started talking about headaches, be sure to go back and watch the introduction video on this topic of preparing for exams, where I talk about the basic rules of what to do to prepare for an exam. Now, with headaches are kind of weird because there aren't a lot of objective tests for these. It's a lot of you documenting your symptoms and bringing them to the attention of the C&P examiner, which is why I make such a big deal about keeping a headache diary, using something like the Migraine Buddy app, or even just a spreadsheet where you're logging headaches as they happen. Now, with that said, you should bring your headache log to the doctor. I really think it's important to have that in your hand so that they are confronted with it during the C&P exam. It's also important to upload it to the claims file itself when you get the chance. You also want to talk about the severity of them during the exam, and you're going to be getting questions as to what do you do, how often do you get these exams, and how do they impact you. Now, the way the VA rates headaches is weird because they look at language like prostrating completely versus characteristically prostrating, severe economic inadaptability, and these words don't make a lot of sense to lay people, and the way the VA uses them is kind of weird. What they're looking for is how often are these headaches so bad that you become basically incapable of doing your activities of daily living because they put you out for a couple hours. Maybe you have to go sit in a chair in a dark room with a cold compress over your eyes. Maybe you just have to lay down until the medicine kicks in. These are the things we're going to be talking about, which is, again, why the headache diary is so critical, because it's hard to remember these things sometimes. So again, keep that headache diary and bring it to the exam. But again, think about how these headaches affect you. If you got a headache where you just couldn't really do what you need to do for the day, write that down. These are the things that they're really looking at. If you're taking any medication for your headaches, like, if you have migraines, you might be taking something like Imitrex or sumatriptan. I think it's the same thing. Talk about those, maybe even bring the prescription. Be prepared to talk about how you treat your headaches. These are all important things for the VA examiner to be able to put in the file. The other thing is that they might be looking for a medical opinion. Now, this is partially based on what you tell them, but they're also going to be looking at the rest of the claims file because they might be looking for secondary causes. Why is this important? Why do I bring this up? If your headaches are worse when you don't get enough sleep, and you don't get enough sleep because you've got terrible back pain that's keeping you up at night, that's important for them to know. If your headaches become more frequent because you're not getting enough sleep because of PTSD, that's important to know. Are your headaches more frequent during allergy season? Or are you triggered by bright lights or loud noises? These, again, are important things to keep a diary of and to log so that you're prepared during your claim and pension exam to actually relay this information to the examiner and make that part of your file. Because, again, you don't want to rely on the VA just to build your file for you. With that said, I hope that was helpful. Again, go back and review that first video where I talk all about the basic rules of every claim and pension exam, such as show up on time and document your symptoms and tell the truth. Common sense stuff. I still think it's helpful though. But until next time, take care.